Hello, my friends, and welcome to the winners finals match here in the Solstice Cup. My name is Bull Skunk alongside Man of Class, and we have a banger of a match coming at you today. Regen taking on Nocturnal to see who is going to take it into the grand finals, guaranteed some of that prize money.
Yeah, it's going to be a, like you said, banger of a match. I think that's exactly the right word to use there. Regen coming into this undefeated, Nocturnal undefeated. They both had a bit of a struggle in their last game, but not
Yeah,
quite enough to really make them not get here. Obviously, Regen with a 3-2, Nocturnal with a 3-1. They did drop a few maps, but they are the teams to beat right now. Of course, haven't lost a single game, and one of them will be the first of the two, and there will be only one undefeated champion standing to go into the grand finals. Looking at these rosters, again, we keep saying we've seen these teams in this tournament before, but both of them have also played in other tournaments. Regen coming in with Lava, Ship, Chopper, Cool ABC, Magic 8 Ball, and CJ. And from what we've heard, Ship is looking to be potentially one of the best off tanks, if not the best, in Tier 3.
yes,
I
sir.
have personally not casted any one of their games, but I wholeheartedly believe the production that gave me that info. And then we move over to Nocturnal. We've seen them play as well, cast the game of themselves, and Bullskunk. That roster's looking good as well.
Yeah, we're gonna have Leviathan, and PJ Watt starting off with the tank role. We'll have Zimrit and is that Anu? And the
Anu, yeah.
DPS role, putting the hurt down there for Nocturnal. Nox and Skyward trying to keep the team standing here as we head into this winners finals match. And I mean, Regen, they've struggled. We've seen them in the FOCC. We've seen them in the Open Division playoffs, and they struggled to get past and into those grand finals, hoping they can break that curse here today as they take on the number 3 seed.
It has really been that last ceiling for them to break to get to the trials level, to get
Yeah.
the contenders level. And Nocturnal, of course, also a name we're very familiar with for that same reason. And Nocturnal roster, I mean, last time we saw Lenathan play, they just completely were unkillable. It was so good how they set a lot of plays up. The halts were amazing. Even on the ball, they showed some prowess. And then Anhu completely bopping off on the DPS. So on Nocturnal, as much as on Regen, a lot to look out for. Maybe we'll see some more Torbjorn from Zenrit actually pulling that hammer out and just getting some more hammer kills. No, that was
Uh,
fun last time released.
that's always fun. That would not hurt my
Yeah.
feelings in the slightest here, Classy.
No.
Gotta love some Torbjorn.
Yeah, gotta love it. And of course, we're still in the tournament for a first of three, not a best of not the best of five, not a first of two. We've been having trials this week, of course, which is all first of two matches. So it's refreshing to get back to that first of three game, and that means that draws actually have an impact on how long the match goes. So where we starting here
Yeah.
looks like with Lijiang Tower, but after that.
Well, and we saw those draws come into play. Regen go into a 6-map thriller to barely edge it out to make it into this match. I
Oh
expect
yeah.
this one could go equally the distance. Fingers crossed it does. Love me some great tight matches.
Yeah, that's all we're looking for. Just the tight
Just
matches,
yeah,
tight gameplay. You know what else is tight though? I think it's tight that we get so much Overwatch gameplay nowadays, Bull Skunk. Because
yes, sir.
obviously it's been quiet for a little bit. Waiting for the next OD, and then contenders was still going. Overwatch League was up, but there wasn't really that much happening in terms of community engagement. Now we've got the Fran Cup, we're getting the Prospect Cup. Third Impact happened a while ago. Like there's so much coming up, so I'm very happy that Solstice took this initiative. Of course, it is their anniversary, so I'm not saying they had to, but it feels nice that they took the initiative to do something with it. And I'm also very happy that these teams showed up for it because they didn't have to. But it's good. Oh, it's good practice. Open division's close. Trials is happening right now. You got to get back
Absolutely.
in the path to pro feel.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours, right, man? Of class. I mean, we're just
Oh
getting
yeah.
tons of Overwatch, and it's been awesome. I mean, just absolutely eating it
Mhm.
up. Tip of the hat to Solstice for putting on this fantastic tournament, giving the teams a chance to show their mettle, giving us a chance to bring you the action.
Yeah, obviously. We also need to practice. Like you think the teams are only doing ones of training? No. We're working hard as well. We
Yep,
do it.
yep.
Maybe even harder than the players. No. Wait, I shouldn't say
Yeah, I'm
that.
not so
No,
sure about that one.
no.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
let's not let's go that far. But honestly, we do try. It does look like they're actually going to be starting on Busan, not on Lijiang. I was wrong about that. They were just not ready yet. As the lobby lead. If the teams do the lobbies themselves, it's usually. it takes them a while to get things right, even though they start doing it more often. It's not as easy as you think. It's not just click that button and the presets loaded. Now you have to actually disable a few things like kill cams and skins and things like that, because in a normal competitive mode that's actually enabled by default. So the team names you cannot only switch. We've made the lobby, and you have to get the players in the right order, so it's easier on T-Dat, our lovely producer. That he just knows where the tanks and DPS and sports all are. There's a lot to set up there.
Well, like you said, we're going to South Korea for our opening map. I love Busan. This is one of my favorite controls. Yeah, a lot to offer. I'm not sure that we're going to see exactly the compositions that will bring us into the payload style maps. You can always, Busan has its own little micro metas built into it, and you can throw some crazy stuff out.
It does, and it really depends on what teams prefer, right? We see some teams try to go for that divey strat, especially on something like downtown. But then when they get into that mecha base, it's usually relatively brawly. We still see some Tracer Genji come out right now. There's quite a lot going on there in Busan. Like you said, it's all micro meta, and I don't know. I think both of these teams kind of have that going. I think they're relatively okay with adapting to metas, adapting to each other.
We saw Regen putting out a great dive in that last match against Purple.
100%. I do think there's this tendency though for teams to try and so there will always be that one team that sort of sets the tone, and the other team often like tries to react to it.
Right.
And I don't know if that's healthy for either team to really do. I think they can play their own game. But it's not always possible to do that. Like I said, sometimes you have to just react to others. We saw it earlier today in EU trials where Avoided played Roar Esports, and Avoided is that team with a one trick. So then you see that Roar is just adapting to them, not playing the meta comp they usually would, but they actually had something prepared to play against Roar, to play against Avoided with. And maybe these teams have scouted each other to such a degree that they do like the reverse psychology. So they both end up playing exactly what they were going to. But sometimes one of the teams gets lost in the steps, and they think that like Regen might think Nocturnal's run the one thing, and then they go the other. But it turns out Nocturnal isn't running it, and it's actually running something that counters what they think they were going to counter with. Yeah. And then that kind of blows up in their faces, and that's what control kind of does to you.
That's kind of the old adage of, well, they know we like to run these comps, but they know we know that they know, so we're going to go the counter of what the counter dive would be. I'm excited to get it going.
Yeah, usually you just end up with teams, when they get into that state of mind, they just go, you know what, you forget it. We're just going to play what we want to play, what we think is best for us at this map. And if they do something else, we just exactly. We just adjust to it. That's fine. Yeah, we're still waiting a little bit for these teams to get ready. I think we should be about to get going. It's a bit of a shame that we're not there yet. But when we look at the bracket, of course, we know what these teams have been going through. And the bracket has been progressing nicely. Of course, we've slowed down the bracket progression a little bit for this week because it is playoffs week, like proper finals week, where you see a lot coming out. And I'm just trying to find the bracket for myself here so we can properly talk about this. But yeah.
Well, I mean, we know for sure. I mean, the winner of this match will move on to the grand finals, guaranteed the very least second place. But even whatever team loses today, they'll have another stab at it. It doesn't mean they're going to have to pack up and go home. They'll have a chance in the losers bracket final to come back and get a victory. We could even see a rematch of these two teams heading into the grand finals. The potential is there.
It 100% is. And looking back at what Regens, for instance, has been doing, they had a 3-0, then they get a forfeit from Cloak in their second game, unfortunately. And then they've played Purple. That's really the only two games they've played. Nocturnal has at least gone those 3 games in. So they had their first game. Actually, no, that's untrue. They also had a forfeit in their first game. So both these teams only actually played 2 games, which is, it can actually be daunting when you don't get as much competition experience, unfortunately. I know I thrive in Overwatch when I play fewer games, but that doesn't go the same way with everybody. There's a reason I'm flat, probably.
Quality over quantity, though, right, Classy?
Right?
I mean,
that's
Regen had to take down Purple to get into this match, and we've seen Purple. We cast them not too long ago in Prospect Cup, and they're a very strong team. Certainly not one to be trifled with. So, and on the other side, side of the bracket, we saw Nocturnal take down your number 2 seed in the Luminaris. So, I mean, that's some quality matches and some tough opponents for these teams to get through.
Nocturnal already provided probably a little bit of an upset in that case, right? Because Luminaris was the second seed, Nocturnal the third seed. That does mean that they're relatively close together. So a real upset is maybe a bit of an exaggeration, but it was still pretty good. But we're finally getting to this game. We're gonna stop talking about the brackets and what already has happened. We're gonna talk about what's going to happen in this game. And we're starting on Busan, like we said, starting on Mecha Base of all games. And what I love about Mecha Base, what everyone sort of seems to forget is a thing we rarely talked about, are these panels on the main objective. They come up and it's actually not a random timer. It's actually, I think, every 10 seconds or every 15 seconds, and they go up and they go down. You even get a warning from the alarm, which is sometimes hard to hear. But I do really like that dynamic. And a lot of teams don't really seem to actually have an idea of how to play around these walls, and I'm really excited to see a strat worked out someday that will use those walls to its advantage, where they have the exact timing ready in their head. They know exactly when they're going up and down, and they initiate on it, and their team's like, wait, what? The walls? No, unlucky. But it wasn't unlucky. It was completely planned, completely calculated.
100%
That's
skill.
what I'm waiting for.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I don't know about you, but I've definitely been victim to that Diva Bomb landing into the middle of Mecha Base, and then suddenly the walls are gone, and your cover just suddenly disappeared, and you're left out in the cold. No! I like it.
Yeah,
It's a cool fact, though. It's a really, really interesting dynamic, and I'd like to see more of this in future map design from Overwatch, where you have some of the changes coming through with the maps every few seconds to add that wrinkle into the strategy.
Yeah, and I'm looking at these teams right now, of course, a few seconds before they come out of the gate, and it does look like they're going to be doing something relatively similar. Almost a mirror. Actually, it is a mirror. What am I talking about?
Well, and the question I think is, are these teams going to stick with the symmetric? No, okay, that's as I thought. Both teams go into the Cyber Ninja once they get out of the gate. And they're going to clash over on this top side, see who can get control of the all-important high ground right from the beginning. Nice halt is going to force out Immortality filled early. And it is, well, it looks like Regen just putting the pressure on already, getting those cooldowns out. In fact, cool ABC himself landed a nice headshot. German's going to fall. DPS missing here. And Regen continuing to just throw down the herd. Another nice halt. And that is going to be a good fight win to start things off. Lava with that kill on the Leviathan. Renaya.
What an early Dragon Blade from Chopper as well.
Very early.
I mean, Anyu wasn't that far behind. It's definitely only a few % away, but that is such a quick blade, and it really shows that they are able to get a few more damage points in than Anyu was. And you can see where the healing is different, right? Nox is just a little bit behind on that rally charge, make ball ahead of that. So it means the sustain has just been a bit better for the side of Regen.
We're going to get an early amplification matrix up here from Regen as they try to protect that lower side choke. Nocturnal doing a good job of just reading the situation. They're going to kite back, garner their resources, and push back. Oh, Chopper getting in and eliminating Anhu early. No chance to pull the katana out of its sheath. This is going to be an early reset from Nocturnal.
Chopper playing so gutsy, so far forward as well. Knows they have the 2-second deflect to really play with. Beautifully done here. We will now see a split attack here.
We're going to get the Gravitic Flux to start things off as Nocturnal comes through the high ground, try to see if they can open up the defense that is Regen, but the Immortality field there to keep them alive, and Ship counter punches back with a Flux of his own, and this one, much more value in the mix. Chopper slicing and dicing all those low HP targets.
Regen is hungry for the win, and they're going to clean up that Sigma as well. You saw Zemrat and PG1 going for that slide. It was a very split attack, but I don't know, Regen just didn't care. They just cleaned up one part of the fight. They ignored the Ash to Sigma almost. They just win. Like in 6v4, they just win. I mean, it's just not lateral because 6v4 should be a win for the 6 always. But, you know, it's still good that they thought about that and did it.
Well, and a lot of faith in their healers. CJ and Magic Mayball getting in the mix. Speaking of, Rally coming out early, Supercharger as well. And here comes Chopper with the Super Blade going into the back. I think he got bashed out of that. It doesn't matter. The Baptiste lighting up in the feed. He's there to pick up the slack. Look at CJ go. 3K there for the Baptiste. 98% and counting. I don't think Nocturnal can get back here in touch. Nope.
I like that. I like that term as well, Super Blade. I was thinking of maybe calling it the Dragon Charger, but I guess that works better. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know. I do think that it was a very nice way that Regen played that out. It didn't seem like Nocturnal ever really had a chance to come back in after that first fight. And the general damage output, of course, if you're on that defensive spam, is gonna be a bit higher. So the ultimates charge up a lot quicker. And I gotta say, I want to see a little bit more coming out of Anhu, because Anhu not getting the DPS value that they need to, being completely out damaged and also out ulted by Chopper there. Chopper just getting complete. I think they actually lapped them in ultimate charge at some point. So that's going to be a big factor in what they can do in this next fight. It's not necessarily the tanks and the supports. It's just how much value you can get out of the Genji, and they keep mirroring. So that's going to keep being a factor.
And the dash through the halt, such a powerful tool to build up that Genji blade. We'll see if Nocturnal can find that synergy here. We're heading into Sanctuary. Looks like they just need to tighten up just a touch to get on the same level here with Regen. But Regen taking up the positional advantage at first. They're saying this is our house and you're going to have to come take it back. Looks like Anu's going to push in, see if he can do just that. But doesn't seem to find much. He has to dash back out into the safety of his team. Slowly but surely, Nocturnal trying to push out of this small room, but they're not finding any room to work. Immortality Field forced out, but an early Ant Matrix there from Nocturnal. Will this be the one to make the difference? No, Regen, they're going to pick up the point. They're just going to go hide out of that LOS.
Yeah, move is done. There's the dash from Chopper. Does get bashed out this time around, but Lenathan goes way too low. He gets taken out because they split away from their team. Supports are under pressure. The tanks are under pressure. And they keep splitting up on Nocturnal. They need to stop doing this, because every time they do, Regen just picks one of the parts of the team to focus on and just completely decimate them.
Yeah, it looks like PJ1 and Lenathan not quite on the same page here just yet. But, you know, it's early in the series. They got time to pull it together.
They got time. And it is always that control curse, we say, right? If you lose that first fight or get a little bit split or something just goes the slightest bit wrong, you can just lose an entire map of that one fight. And now they're at least even in ultimates. The bot goes in at initiation.
I expect a rally to come out as well. Nocturnal pushing around to this far right-hand side, trying to provide a little bit of a different look. Bob taken care of, but here comes the Genji blade from Anu. Goes diving in way back, trying to see if he can find cool ABC. Meanwhile, on the front, the Regen, they don't seem to care. They're just going to drop Supercharger, and they're going to try to overwhelm the front lines. Magic Mayball able to finish off that Genji. Here comes the Gravitic Pluck from the other side. See if the reprisal is enough from Nocturnal, but they're running into even more damage now as the Ant Matrix comes out from Regen. Philippe's able to put a nice shot down, and his bow support's missing, and here comes Chopper with the blade, cutting Nocturnal down to size.
Yeah, it's looking great here so far for Regen once again. Only 8% to go because that fight went so long. And there's only the Supercharger. Lenathan Supercharger needs to get a massive amount of value. Nocturnal wants to win this. At least they're able to touch.
Yeah, I mean, Nocturnal forced into the Desperation comp, which means you're giving up some ultimates to do it. Someone coming back on that Tracer, gets stunned, gets bashed, able to dash out of Harbor just in the nick of time. Oh, but the support's not so lucky. Once again, the heal line for Nocturnal going down first. Manhu and Zermatt gonna have to strike back with a quickness. They managed to find one apiece, but it's not gonna be enough. That overtime Wick's going bye-bye. The map going the way of Regen to start things off.
Regen looking so good, actually dominant to a large degree, right? Nocturnal just couldn't find an opening. And I'm going to start wondering right now whether it's Regen not giving an opening or Nocturnal not finding an opening, or whether it's actually Nocturnal going in a longer fight and then giving Regen the opening. I guess like if Nocturnal doesn't give that opening, if they don't split that team up like they sometimes do, where the Regen also just doesn't get a chance and the fight just goes on forever. Because they do seem very evenly matched up until that point where Nocturnal does that thing where they split off the Ashe and the Sigma just like a tiny little bit, and Regen just smacks on it. They smack on everything they want. In this first fight on on Sanctuary there, I think it actually was that they just went in, and the tanks, and so Sigma and Orisa went forward, Lenathan and PG1, and then they just capitalized on getting the tanks first because the backline just couldn't follow. But I don't know. It just seemed like Nocturnal was a little bit out of sorts and just a bit
Yeah.
pulled apart by how Regen played them.
And it seemed like the Orisa's going backwards as the Sigma's going forward, and just a little bit on different pages. And as the fight drew out, I believe Nocturnal almost looked desperate's not the right word, but we're struggling to find a way to push forward. As the fight kept going, they weren't getting answers, they weren't getting results, and perhaps throwing a little bit of spaghetti at the wall, hoping something will stick. And in the meantime, their supports were getting picked off early every time.
Yeah, I'm getting picked off early is not what you want, so Nocturnal's going to have to find a way. So yeah, we're going to get Route 66, and Route 66, I mean, we've seen it once before, and we're going to see it again. I think it was actually Nocturnal that picked it last time as well, because they lost their first control map in that series. And yeah, Route 66 has been rare, as I said before. I don't know. I think not a lot of teams play Route 66 anymore nowadays. Most teams will go to Rialto, maybe Gibraltar, maybe even Dorado, Havana. Right. But Route 66 has been rare, and I like the map. I don't know why people don't do it. It's a good map. Like, why wouldn't you play it?
Well, and if Nocturnal was doing their homework, then they probably saw some fantastic dive coming out of Regen on Watchpoint Gibraltar. They don't want to have to go up against that. Yeah. Maybe looking to play some strengths. As right now, both teams sticking with the meta comp from what I've seen so far, even a little bit more so than I expected on a control map. So heading into Escort, I assume we're going to see more of that Genji Ashe composition.
Yeah, I'm very much expecting that to happen. Of course, it is the meta, as you say, but there's quite a few things you could potentially do differently on a map like Route 66. You could see a Tracer, maybe a Widowmaker, because the sidelines are a bit longer, so covering that distance with a Tracer sometimes a bit easier, and also shooting at things with the Widowmaker sometimes a bit easier. But a lot of the teams will still choose to go with that Genji Ashe, because you can choose where you fight, especially on the defense. So you can actually make sure that you will get the value out of an Ashe like that. It could have been that you go with a Mercy. We've seen that before. We've heard it before from players where they say, if you can get an Ashe on a high ground consistently, you can put a Mercy on it for the damage boost, because you will be able to spam at them. And if they run a Brigitte, you will win in that spam war. It's even more. So now that we're looking at what they're setting up, it's not going to be that. There's not going to be a Mercy from Regen. But they will just come out with that same comp we know before. Maybe we'll see Anyu and Zemrit actually go with that Widowmaker Hanzo. Hanzo's probably there for the Sonar Arrow, but Zemrit could stick. Zemrit has been a very good Widowmaker in the past.
Zemrit indeed gonna hang out on the sniper. Looking for those early picks, but going into double shield might be difficult to find that opening that they really need to find that first kill and blow. Looks like half the team, again, with a split push coming through from Nocturnal. You've got the Brig and the Sigma pushing up to the high ground, while the bulk of the team is just going to kind of guide cart around. A similar defense on the other side. So we're getting a couple of little micro duels here. 2v2s on both sides of the cart right now.
Yeah, it's really funny, but PG1 gets left alone because Nox gets pushed up the high ground. Meanwhile, Lenathan dies finally to a Dynamite there. It was, of course, relatively lonely on that low ground, but they're going to try and push through here. Magic Maidball gets the kill on the Anhu, and this fight is not really happening. It's sort of like all these duels, like you said.
And all the while, the advantage Regen here, up in that position, that high ground that you're talking about, I mean, Cool ABC just is unchecked. It's the shooting gallery for the Ashe.
Yeah, so the question is how Nocturnal is going to answer this, right? Are they going to try and rotate differently? Are they all going to go through high ground? Or are they all going to go through low ground? Because this off-angle strategy that they keep doing, they did it on Control, they split as well. They keep doing it here as well. And I don't know if that's the call.
Ant Matrix out from the defense, and now Cool ABC with double damage from that Viper. Ship able to take advantage of it as well. Taking down the counterpart Sigma on the other side. But Ship does get taken down. So now, 5v5 here on the point. That respawn, of course, is going to favor Nocturnal. They're spawned much closer. They're going to throw down the Ant Matrix of their own. But here comes the blade from the other side. Can Chopper hold the defense? He gets one, but Nox eventually takes it down. The rally used, though. So, good fight from both sides. Well, Nocturnal will definitely have a couple of ults coming in, but they spend both of those support ultimates.
Now, they'll have that Blade, they'll have both tank ultimates, and those are great fight winners. That Blade, especially if they can force out the Immortality field with the Gravitic Flux, that could be a great win condition.
Now we're going to get the rally from the other side as defense come in for a late contest on point A, but here comes Anhu's Blade. Immortality Field used, perfectly placed there by CJ, right in the center of his team, and no fatalities from the Genji Blade. Now PG1 trying to answer back, and the Flux is good. The Flux finds 2, follows up the next kill on to Ship as well. Wonderful assault put together there by Nocturnal. They'll push this thing home with about $120 on the clock.
Very nicely done. I thought they were maybe used the Gravitic Flux to get the Amplification Matrix out because it wasn't up yet. They actually used the Blade. Very well coordinated. Anhu gets that one out. They try to counter it with a Gravitic Flux of their own, but the Blade forced out the Immortality Field, and the Gravitic Flux then follows up afterwards. Of course, gets more value straight away with all those half-L cooldowns. And now you're going to see Regen set up here on the low ground, already pushing their spawn with the Amplification Matrix, and the damage comes out.
Oh, what an interesting place for a fight here, man. At Class, you had 2 of Nocturnal's people on that top left-hand side trying to put damage down into that choke, but Regen just muscles through, finds the opening pick. Supercharger is used from Nocturnal, but no real value on the back of it. They threw a Bob into the mix as well. PG1 just picked up 1, but they can't seem to stave off the aggression coming through from the other side. Regen just keeping their foot on the gas here. Despite being on the defense, they're the ones that are the aggressors in this fight.
Yeah, but they do have a spawn disadvantage, so even though they got some picks, they are still relatively trading out, losing a bit of support as well. They don't have any healers left, so they cannot sustain this, and they will just get pushed back. This card eventually is looking like it's going to get more value than it would have otherwise had in a different position. But that's not the best situation for Regen to be in. Losing Chopper late, they cannot keep losing people. They really need to reset now.
Oh yeah, that stagger's going to hurt. The Chopper with the Blade in his pocket. They really need their Genji here if they want to hold on the back of point B.
It always feels like I'm playing Mystery Heroes, where people also forget that going in a 6 is a good thing. But yeah, there they go with Bob on the cart. Bob doesn't actually contest, only goes behind them, and only be able to focus Leviathan.
It might be just the pincer maneuver they need, but no, there's just too much health to get through. Rally and Ant Matrix thrown out. Skyward getting into the kill feed as 2 picks come through. We did have one on the other side. Genji goes down. Anhu holding a blade of his own, but Zermit right there. Pick up the slack, find the 2K, push this thing into the second point. And it's going to make its way into point C.
Yeah, it very much is. I'm very, very curious what Regen's going to do, because it does seem that Nocturnal has changed their playstyle a little bit, where Leviathan is now sort of the solo in a lot of ways, where the rest of the team will set up together, and Leviathan will be more of a lone unit, because they have such a good way of keeping Leviathan alive, and Leviathan plays around that barrier very well too.
And we're starting to see some of that symmetry that we were saying they needed so desperately, but look like it to be there here on this attack. Early kills coming through. Half of Nocturnal gone. And a quick reset there for the attackers. Oh, Regen planting their feet here.
Yeah, Regen definitely is able to hold on this position for a while. They have the ultimates to do so. There's some coming out from Nocturnal as well. I'm especially looking forward if they can do something with the Bob this time around. Because Bob hasn't found that much value this match so far, and it would be really nice if he can set up a nice crossfire with him.
Yeah, Matrix used early, and here comes that Bob. Didn't quite see where the Bob ended up. Okay, looks like it's in the far backhand side of the objective. Regen able to just back out of that one. Chopper's going to go ahead and send a Bob back into his Ash's pocket there. Ship answer back, going to take down the counterpart. Sigma, and another good hold coming through. Not a whole lot of ultimate spent. Regen able to economically take that fight win.
So Bob versus the Amplification Matrix. That's went on there. Critic Flux is going to be almost ready for PG1 now with the Blade, so they might go for another one of those combos. But the Supercharger is going to be coming out for both teams first.
And Chopper almost to a blade of his own. Might see another one of those super blades here directly. Cool ABC. Going to take down the Supercharger on the other side. It's actually going to be Anhu who's pulling his katana out of its sheath first. And that's going to find both supports of Regen. No more heals standing. Falls up a nice kill onto lava. Finding the most priority targets you could if you're a Genji.
Yeah, and Nocturnal has really seemed to find a way to focus those supports down early. And that really makes Regen crumble. Like we said, if there's no healing, how are you going to do anything? How are you ever going to stay alive? Currently, there will be ultimates online, especially those support ultimates for the defense. Like Magic 8-Ball's rally could be really good for aggression. But look at that Gravitic Flux early. Gets CJ. No more ultimates there.
Oh no, Ant Matrix thrown in on who's there to clean up the half health targets. And that's going to be third point picked up by Regen. And about 38 seconds in time bank.
And it took them a while to get rolling, but once they did, they just never, ever stopped. Got in a good position, maybe a little bit of a break there on third, but it was honestly just a pleasure to watch Nocturnal shift that around because they were struggling hard on point A. It took them a good few minutes to get going. So switching sides here, will Regen have that same issue? Will they get stuck on first and then just keep on rolling through after? Will they get some more momentum? And it's all going to come down to how they exercise their positioning. Because these rotations from Nocturnal have really tightened up. They've really cleaned up their way that they play around the tanks and they split their team up. Because they still split, but they make a more intelligent split where they don't choose to go with the Sigma Ashe split. They rather get the Orisa on her own and the Genji on their own because they have more of an escape or sustain tool than that Orisa, so that Ashe Sigma. But Ashe Sigma is way more vulnerable to a dive or to a counterplay from the enemy team, or leaves your team more vulnerable when they are off alone.
Coming out on the defense. No changes in composition. I don't expect we're going to get much of one. The Orisa going down to the low ground here, though, man, in class. This is interesting. I was expecting them to stay on top of Big Earls.
Yeah, you would expect them if they're going to play on low ground. Why not play around the first train carriages, right? Where you just say, I'm just going to go in here. I'm just going to be very aggressive, stand up all the way up in your spawn, and then, well, you have to deal with that. But unfortunately, that's not what they do. They need to stand on this low ground. There's not really a place to back off to as Orisa that is a high ground. Maybe that ramp behind the corner, but that's a long shot.
Gonna get some early damage in. Zerman already at 32% to Bob. You're gonna have to watch out for the Brig Genji trying to challenge the high ground up there. But with the Sigma and that Brig sitting up there, that shouldn't be much of a challenge. The cart moving forward, a nice aggressive shield there from Regen, and they're going to turn around this corner. Immortality field forced out from both teams. Chopper able to find one healer. Cool ABC finds the other, but both of them eventually go down. Anu getting back, finding some revenge. In fact, coming up with a big 3K at the end of it, and putting a hold here on this cart.
Yeah, Anu definitely warming up here. Showed some inconsistency, especially the first map, and maybe a bit on the start of the second here. But it's now finally coming online. And that's what we wanted to see. That was a force to be reckoned with. Last time around, we saw Nocturnal play. And if Nocturnal is going to pull this one out of the hat, they need Anu to get those big plays on the Genji.
Well, with that respawn advantage, Regen able to get this cart a-moving. Anu 97 to that blade. Quite a bit ahead of Chopper on the other side. A little bit of a battle on top of Big Earls, and both teams kind of just fell back to their respective corners. An Ant Matrix out, but nobody really in front of it. Here comes the Flux from the other side. It finds just a fortified Orisa. So a couple of ults kind of going by the wayside for both teams. But here comes the Blade. The Blade finding success. Chops down Shift. It could be a massive source of damage here for Regen. Chopper answers right back there. Takes Zimmerit out of the fight. Takes him to Skyward down. Falls him a kill into Nox as well. Pulls out the Genji Blade. Finds 3 before eventually going down, but I think he's done enough to take up that first point here for Regen.
Yeah, very good. Well done by Chopper. Got a lot of value out of that one. Anu's still a little bit ahead in that blade charge. Not too much, though. And the biggest thing we're going to be looking forward to now is how does Regen attack this second point? Are they going to go as aggressive and set up in the exactly same way? And it does look like they want to, but they're a little bit late to the party. Nocturnal's already out of spawns. This will be a very different fight than it was when we saw Regen was defending.
Yeah, Regen didn't quite get there in time to hold down that choke, and well, Nocturnal seemingly a little wise to their plans that not everybody came out at the same door even. Now double damage ultimates from the defense. PG1 immediately finding value. Regen doing a great job of kind of avoiding that LOS though, and nice rotation to try to push around the clubhouse. And as those ultimates fade, we're going to get Rally and Supercharger out. Bob thrown in from Regen as well. Bob going to take down Nox. Magic 8-Ball getting into the mix as well. And Regen, they're thriving in the chaos here at the start of point B.
Yeah, of course, they are definitely going to be able to continue the cart a little bit further. But Nocturnal did a great job of stalling it out a little bit. They started out on A for a few seconds, starting out on B for now, and they need to just keep buying time because eventually they will slow down the momentum and just the pace of Regen enough. They will be able to make it to the end of the map, and that's all that Nocturnal needs to do. They just need to stop the cart any time before third.
We got both Fluxes online. Chopper has caught up. Oh, well, I said that too soon. Otto, everyone's kind of squeak away, get his blade coming online directly. Oh, ship goes down mid. Flux, a disastrous start to this fight here on the back point B for Regen. Then the rest of the team bring it back. Lava goes down as well, just to add further insult to injury and a big hole in the making here from Nocturnal.
And the biggest deal about that is that they didn't have to invest any ultimates. They'll still have 3 online, almost 2 more. Lenathan is getting closer to that supercharger as we speak. And on the other side, they used the Flux. It got canceled. They don't have a supercharger yet. They're getting close-ish to Bob and Rally, but it will definitely be very hard for spend resources.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That wonderful fight from Nocturnal has got them ahead in the ult economy. It looks like Regen is just going to circle around from the low ground this time. Nothing overly clever here as they go right up the gut. Zimmer goes down and hopefully there comes the Gravitic Flux from the other side. Quite see how many of that got. Well, had a little tech issue there. Meta class. What are we seeing here, my friend?
Yeah, I'm coming back to search your low feet as well. The current is just going on. Blade on you.
Oh no! I think your hamster got a cramp in the hamster wheel there. Get a little robotic there. We'll get you back in this action as soon as possible. My psychic senses telling me there's some fantastic Overwatch going on. That's the. But with the incredible ult advantage, I can't imagine you're taking a monumental task for Regen to overcome that deficit. Regen is going to go ahead and throw down a Genji Blade, so I've been told. We'll see if that will be the difference maker. Genji Blade comes out, dashes through, looking for targets. Not sure if he quite found what he was looking for. No, Genji Blade going to waste. Gets absolutely nada with that all-important ultimate. And that's... But they do manage to take down the Genji on their side. Nocturnal slowly losing a foothold in this battle. So here, Magic Maypole, the difference maker. Overcoming the ult deficit. Regen, are they able to pick up the second point?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
No contest coming through. Regen will get that second point on the board. We get a little bit of our tech issues figured out here on the caster side. Looks like Regen able to catch up in the ult economy during that fight. They were so far down. We're gonna get the rally coming out early. It's going to bolster Regen, give him all the health in the world to try to push around the first corner here on point C. But PG1 trying to counter back, throws the Flux down, oh, but misses entirely. Now Ship is going to throw his own Flux into the mix. Also gets nothing. Both of these Sigmas finding goose eggs, so Zerman's going to have to throw Bob in the mix. We'll see if the big Omnic Butler can be the difference maker here for Regen. Does find 1 kill. But hey, that's good value coming out of the big Omnic Butler. He did something, Mana Class. He did something. Will it be enough to push Regen all the way home? Looks like slowly but surely they're going to push this cart. Oh, here comes Chopper's Blade. He's still looking for something. Oh, and here comes the Blade from the other side. Oh, and then who finds 2 kills, trying to slow the progress, see if they can put a stop to this. And stymie this assault. Nocturnal will eventually stabilize in the back of point C with only 15 seconds left on the clock, Mana Class. It doesn't look like Regen are anywhere close to this cart. 10 seconds on the clock. They have no speed, no way to get in close. The Brig, no, they got to get her to touch the point. Where is your sense of urgency, Regen? 2 seconds on the clock, you've got to touch. Oh, they just barely make it in time, utilizing the bomb to actually start overtime, but an early mortality field forced out, and I worry that the cooldown's all spent by Regen just to approach the cart. They're not going to have the longevity to push this thing home. Gravitic Flux coming out from EG1. Anhu already getting a kill. Lava down, ship down. No more tank standing for Regen, and it's looking like a tied game here, as Nocturnal will take Route 66.
What a note to go here. Yeah. Okay.
Man, Class has gone into Cybercaster mode. You're doing your best Genji impression over there, my friend, I'm afraid. But we'll get y'all tied up as we head into our hybrid map. So I think we'll take a short little break here, try to get some of these issues figured out. But y'all stick around. We'll return with hybrid in just a few moments. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Winners Bracket Finals here in the Solstice Cup. We're all tied up, headed into our hybrid map. That we're headed to jolly old England, everybody's favorite Kings Row here from map number 3. My name is Bull Skunk, alongside Man of Class, Classy. What are your thoughts on Kings Row, my friend? Tried and true?
Look, it's a tried and true, but because we've had meta shifts, it's been a bit different of late. We
True.
have seen a lot of focus on teams putting someone on the high ground for the off angle approach and then maybe splitting on the low ground. We know how much Nocturnal likes to split up their team for
Yeah.
various reasons. So they're probably going to stick with doing that, putting someone on the high ground there. Probably the same thing going to happen for Regen. That doesn't mean it cannot be interesting. So what usually happens, like we say, it's going to be the Ashe and the Sigma on the high ground for their off angle damage. And sometimes you see a team running actually something like an Echo, on a defense to really stave off anything, have more off angle going on. Even we have the Ashe, the Sigma, and then the Echo, and then the rest of the team. So there's 3 angles. And the Echo, of course, very powerful and potentially going up to Stranglers in the back line of the attackers to really get that going. It looks like we're not going to Kings Row, though.
I got totally debated.
Somehow,
Totally
they debated it to go
debated.
to Icon World. So new maps, new love all around. They still need to swap sides. I think Nocturnal wanted to start on the defense, though. So I think that will still need to happen. So let's see if they still want to swap that. Okay, they did swap it, so they are on the defense first, just before the map started.
Look at that. Put Johnny on the spot,
Yeah, NA players, NA players who lobby hosting, NA lobby hosts. That's the joke that we were making in that case. And I'm from EU. I'm allowed to say it, I'm allowed to make fun of you guys. But yeah,
Sure,
we will
sure.
be
I'll let
going
you have this
again.
one.
I know, right? We will be going into Icon World, and this is not completely throwing everything out of the wrench, right? This is completely saying that everything we're talking about in Kings Row now doesn't really apply here because there isn't that easy high ground on the defense. You could maybe set that Sigma and Ashe up on the high ground above the first choke on their bridge, but I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll just go for the same hold that we see everybody do on the left side of the clock tower next to the destroyed Karanomnik, and they'll spam that choke. They'll use this as a spam opportunity on the defense.
Well, and Zimrit taking a page out of the Paris Eternal book and bringing out the Cowboy here. They're using the McCree alongside the Genji. We saw Exy put it into great effect. We'll see if Zimrit has a similar success here on the defense. No changes on the other side. As Regen just going to push in, kind of poking and prodding around the tower. Both teams sizing each other up, and Ship finds first blood. Anyo goes down early. What an important pick, not allowing the Genji to build up any more towards that blade. And Chopper going to push in, try to take advantage. Cool ABC lighting up the feed hole, and Regen just chasing Nocturnal all the way back into the streets of Iceball.
And it's the complete opposite of what you usually see happen on a map like Kings Row, where normally the defense is the ones that are split and trying to get the attackers. This time it was actually Regen that walks in there, gets around both sides of the clock tower at the same time and finds a gap in the defense and takes that first pick and then keeps on going with that split offense. Nocturnal now completely set up on the high ground. Of course, a very normal thing to do on Icon Mode. You'll get that advantage straight away because of the map geometry. But it's Chopper. They're behind them. Almost goes to the blade. They might just dash through and pull that straight away, but no, they're going to wait. Get shot out of the sky by Zimrit.
Zimrit with the pick, taking that swap over to the Ashe. And I mean, that was a massive dash from Chopper. Went through almost all 6 members of Nocturnal, was able to get the blade online, but then just gets picked out of the sky. Nevertheless, Regen slowly pushing this cart around the first corner. Oh, but Lenaton able to take down Coolidge. You see no more damage dealers. Oh, Chopper makes it back into the battle. Time to pull blade. Looks like he got rocked off the high ground, but he's going to go ahead and make his way back up there. Nevertheless, so much time wasted, and he's not able to find any kills with that very important ultimate. Lava, on the other hand, did manage to pick up one. His ship has got that gravitic flux online.
Ship is going to be ready to pull that one out, and there it finally comes. Good gravitic flux, and I get the follow-up on the 2 of that. Vitali Field is out on the lower ground to defend against Anyu. Chopper gets that kill. And Nocturnal, I don't think they can even make it back to this checkpoint. This checkpoint is going to be taken up for free with 5.5 minutes. They're going to be pushing into third.
Regen seemed to lose people early in the fight. I thought Nocturnal had that in the bag, but all the while the cart just rolled all the way through, completely uncontested.
Still a game about getting the objective there. And now they're going to hold this corner. And if they're going to hold anywhere with the right ultimates, it's here.
Nocturnal with the clear ult advantage, opening up with that Gravitic Flux, takes Chopper down early. But are they going to get aggressive on the back of that? Okay, Andrew's going to drop the blade, enforced by that rally, but he gets taken down. Not enough to finish off Bob, the big Omnet Butler, reigning supreme over the Cyber Ninja. And Nocturnal sending Regen packing on their first assault in the point six.
Yeah, and they had so many ultimates, they had no right to lose that fight. But because they've used almost everything but the supercharger, it will literally be Regen's fight to win. They'll have a blade, they'll have an amplification matrix, and they'll be closer to any other ultimate on the point as well. So it will be really hard for Nocturnal to stave this one off. But that's why they pose aggressively. They want to get that poke out. They want to build up those ultimates before Regen can even get close.
Good opportunity to do that. Regen reading that situation very well, as they're just going to push through Castle, not allow Nocturnal those big sight lines, not allow Zimmer to get that extra damage in. And now they're going to go charge it onto the point with great vigor, throw down the amplification matrix. It's on a little weird spot in the corner, but here comes the Genji Blade. Dash in the back, he's going to first take out the equipment, now see if he can go find some kills. Looks like he got bashed out of it. Immortality Field used as well. Nox does eventually fall. And Regen, they've got their Orisa in a little bit of a dangerous spot. The amplification matrix coming out from the other side to try to keep that Orisa safe. But Chopper, he smells blood in the water. He's getting aggressive, getting bloodthirsty, goes and finds one. Sigma now in a weird spot. No way that Sigma's going to survive. Nah, PG1's gone. And the cart turning the final corner.
Yeah, it's one of the same situations where they keep moving the cart while the fight's going on. Nocturnal really not holding the objective well. Leonathan, as the touch on the ball gets blown up here. At this point, might just get there. They might not be able to touch. Nox barely does, but it's on you. But no one else makes it. And that's the map completion with 3:26 on the card. We talk about fast offenses sometimes on maps, but this is one of the fastest I've ever seen.
That was such a strange Assault Realm mana class. It seemed like Nocturnal were winning the fights, but like you said, they had 0 point presence. And so all the while they're getting picks, the cart is just getting progress. And 3:26, beyond respectable for Eichenwald. That's that's formidable right there. That's scary.
It's just scary.
That's the perfect word for it. Yes, sir.
It's almost at that point you gotta almost wonder if Nocturnal even tried. Of course they did. They definitely did. But like we said, they're just not on the payload all the time. They were on the objective on the first point, but even there, they kind of split themselves off a little bit on that defense. And I think, once again, Nocturnal, if you keep splitting, you're going to keep losing if you split in the incorrect way. And they still haven't learned that the only one they can really leave to be split off alone is Leonathan and maybe Anu, because they keep losing the wrong members at the wrong time because of a weird split going on. And it keeps just being that red threat every time they realize what they're doing, every time they realize what weird position they're in, they are able to turn it around. They're able to correct it. But they're not realizing it enough times. So Nocturnal are going on the attack. I really hope that they've sort of learned again, like they did on Route 66, and are able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, they really got their act together in map 2, able to tie up the series and take that map away. They're going to have to pull themselves up on their bootstraps here on Eichenwald. No changes compositionally as we're getting the mirror once again. Anhu going in early ahead of his team, perhaps just doing a little bit of scouting. PG1 finds a nice opening pick, taking down Magic Maypole. And that brig, just oh so important to keep the Genji at bay. Now, Anhu with free reign and a similar result on point A, as Nocturnal just chasing Regen all the way back off the point, all the way back in the streets.
And they get that Brigitte advantage, and meanwhile, Chopper is nowhere to be found. Tries to maybe find an opening in the back line onto Nox or Skyward, but is just zoned out entirely by the entirety of Nocturnal. And that means Nocturnal doesn't have a 6v5, but a 6v4 going on that entire fight. Now they're already aggressively in the castle, and they get some kills, also losing Anhu though. But they're still in a good place to maybe get some more progress and get some aggression going.
Oh, Anhu for the Sigma. You take that trade anytime. Cool ABC, though. Bringing him back from the deficit. A massive 3K. Cool ABC landing shots true with that Viper.
And here you say it's true. You would have taken that trade If it was only that trade. And
if it was only
unfortunately,
that trade, yep.
Unfortunately, it was a little bit more. Cool ABC just completely decimating a few players there on Nocturnal side. And now they'll come in with in a position where the ultimates are almost there for Nocturnal, but not quite. So the first move could be made here by Regen. And jumping from that low ground is usually a very good way to make that initiation happen.
They're going to throw Bob in from the top ropes. He runs all the way into the back of point A. Genji's both finding a kill, but it's Nox going down. Oh, that's going to be disastrous. Bob getting into the mix. His kills continue to come through from both sides. I believe it's a 3v3. Oh, no, that's going to be a 3v2 on the point. Now it's just the two tanks left alive here for Nocturnal, and they're going to be forced to retreat.
Regen has to wait a little bit before their team comes back here. Nocturnal on the cart, still pushing it. They're going to get space to push it as well. Like we said, Regen in a little bit of a pickle with a few less members. And their support and damage and everything on the cart. A lot of ultimates online as well. Nocturnal could win this round, just pure ultimate dominance.
Lava jumping down. Able to stop the cart from moving, but the amplification matrix coming out. Supercharger from both sides, and the Genji Blade in the mix. The Super Blade taking down the counterpart, but he gets taken out by Skyward. One huge blade for the bad tees, taking out the ulting Genji. And Regen bouncing back in the same, but it's a 3v2 down in the lower levels. Oh man, smoke clears, and Nocturnal just barely able to hang on.
It's actually going to be Regen able to hold on here. They will on a lot of pressure here, and they will be continuing their defense. Nocturnal, they try to get into these aggressive positions. They're trying to get into these places where they have some sort of map advantage because of the position that they're in. But so far, they haven't been able to do it. They have been consistently challenged, and Cool ABC has been keeping in the dynamites and the shots in order to deny them that.
Yeah, Regen on the defense here. Don't let the color swaps fool you. Oh man, Amu was getting a little bit of a backhand going on. Didn't seem like Regen was really paying any attention to it. They do finally realize Regen is holding this top side, but I'm not quite sure what advantage that's going to buy him. They're not really finding the kills. And all the while, the cart making slight progress. Oh man, this is... Now the Bob thrown into the stairwell. It's like the batter for the stairs over here. Regen does eventually come through. The DPS finally tilting the balance for the defense.
And Nox just jumping off the map to reset them a little bit. If you look at this offensive ult bank, though, they look like they're going to be in a better spot than Regen is in the defense. They should have more to work with, and they even get the early kill on the Chopper. It's a huge opening. Chopper was relatively close to that blade. That means you're going to have more to do with that mortality field.
Yeah, here comes the Gravitic Flux from the defense. Not sure. I think it found Anhu there. Oh, Orisa going down super low. Immortality Field, keep teams up, but there goes the Immortality Field, and now it's going to be Nocturnal's tanks sent right back to spawn, the rest of the team following right behind.
Yeah, he had a nice opening there with a good kill on the Chopper, but there was no possibility to capitalize on it, because as soon as they even remotely tried to walk forward, all of Regen just jumps down from the high ground, gets the amplification matrix out, and just decimates anything that's coming through that little choke.
But good news for Nocturnal. They are coming back with some ultimates online now. They'll be running into the Blade and the rally from the other side. Oh, no. Shim kind of got himself into a bit of a pickle there. The rest of his team diving down to bail him out, using the Genji Blade in that process. Immortality Field forced out. Can they get it down? They do get the Immortality Field down, but it's Anu finding the kills. Pulls, doesn't even need to use the Blade of his own, and gets a 3K. Allowing Nocturnal a little room to breathe here. Regen's going to go ahead and invest a late Bob. I'm not sure I would have opted for that one. And the cart all the while making its way through. It looks like these doors are coming down here, Mana Class.
It does look like it, especially with those kills coming out here. No chance for Regen to really defend that. And like you said, it was a weird timing on that Bob. I would not have done that myself every time I would. Maybe I would have, but it would have been the wrong choice, of course. And now we see Anyu even going deeper to get the kill in the lava, building ever close to the next blade. Already he's got it online. I don't know. I think Nocturnal's doing a great job right now, but they still are so far behind in time bank. They really cannot afford to be slowed down at all. They need to complete it before overtime. Best scenario is if they win this next fight. With the ultimates, it's so even that Regen might as well just also win that.
2 minutes on the clock. Regen's going to go ahead and throw down their Supercharger Ant Matrix combo. So much damage on the board. Cool ABC able to find a pick with that. And a very quick retreat coming through from Nocturnal. Oh, man. Chopper's just going to chase him right out. See if he can find it, and he picks. The rest of the team coming fourth as well. And, well, Regen is doing a good job of keeping the offense in check right now.
Definitely. I mean, this fight's going to ensue pretty quickly because they only lost one. They started retreating straight away. And there's a nice halt critic flux combo. Beautifully done. No immortality field either. We're just going to clean up here, Bull Skunk. And this is the run. They need to complete it before overtime. The stall is going to be able to be coming in. And they have some ultimates to do it with, the critic flux and the blade. But they need more. They need to find the kills with these ultimates.
What a great counterpunch there to allow him to get this far. Is there going to be a contest? The Wrecking Ball coming out. Oh my god, just narrowly able to stave off here. Leotin goes down. So it's going to be tough for Nocturnal to finish this thing off, especially with Chopper's blade coming through. But Anu and Nox doing work. Is the blade going to be enough for the defense to hold on? No, it does not look like it will. Nocturnal cleaning up. They're going to push it home. But the time difference in these two teams is monstrous.
It is over 2.5 minutes, which is not what you wanted to see if you're Nocturnal. But for now, you've completed the map. You put yourself into a place where you can win out this map, or at least haven't lost it yet. And when you can start on the next attack, even though the enemy team has 3:45 left, imagine if you push it all the way to the end in a minute. Because then you push it further than Regen did in the time that they used in their last attack. They used 4 minutes 14, 4 minutes 15. So yeah, Nocturnal still in a very good position to be able to win the map, but they do need to get a very good push out. Last time they lost their first fight as soon as they kept point A. So point A shouldn't be the problem. But it's really a streets phase where they were completely outplayed and outstratted, outsmarted, outrotated, out everything, both on their attack and their defense. So all that Regen needs to do is kind of just repeat the performance that they had before, and they'll be fine. They'll just win because neither team defended A well.
Well, of course, Nocturnal hoping they can get point A in equally as quick a time, but first things first, they're going to have to capture it. This first fight is going to be so important.
Going to be incredibly important, and the first fight has so far been 100% win rate for the attackers, so the odds are in their favor. Let's keep it at
that. Chopper going in looking for some early ult charge, but just decides to dash right on out of there. Looks like just another anticipated push, nothing overly clever coming through from Nocturnal. They're just going to go to the left side of tower altogether, but they lose on who early. Oh, this could be disastrous. Building up towards that all-important blade, that win condition, the immortality field first out early as well. And this fight, this is all Regen. They're setting the tone here in the extra innings.
Luckily speaking, though, Anu doesn't lose that much ult charge as compared to Chopper. Chopper only 10% up in that blade charge. There can be a difference, but not if you lose Lava. Lava is such an important part of that team.
And it's the support line of Regen who had the big ult advantage. That amplification matrix thrown up early is just going to slow him down. And now Nocturnal just oddly split. A weird immortality field coming out from the left side. Going over to the Wrecking Ball to try to get some point presence as the overtime wick starts to burn. Gravitic Flux coming out from ship. That's going to fly too. Force out the immortality field. And the follow-up there. It looks like the defense may be able to hold on unless Anu can come through with just a miraculous play on the back end of this. No, Anu goes down. And with only 2 ticks of progress, Regen putting up a big hold here.
Very well done from Regen. And of course, there was 56.7% captured by Nocturnal, but 56.7% is usually not enough to cap out a map like defend a map like Eichenwald for 3 minutes 45.
Let's say
as amazing as a defense you put up, usually that first tick and a little bit more do fall.
Well, and now Regen knows exactly what their win condition is. They can pace their ult usage based on that clock, based on what they get early. They can try just get some early picks and then move in if they find success. Otherwise, they just play for the 6-stack rush, the 6 ultimate stack.
And we'll see in I think roughly a minute how that goes. They can. Their 6-stack ultimate will usually be ready after at most 2 minutes, but nowadays usually a minute and a half, maybe even a minute if you're all really quick. So yeah, there might be at least 2, most likely even 3 potential 6 old rushes here coming out from Regen. And that's very scary if you're Nocturnal. How are you going to rotate your ultimates in such a way that you're going to be able to work against that? And looking at these comps, they're obviously not changing anything, but the big difference is that Zembrit last time on defense started on that McCree. Not the case last time around, and that might make a big enough of a difference.
Yeah, Nocturnal hoping what little progress they got will be enough to take the lead in this winner's bracket finals. As the gates are open. I almost wonder if a comp swap might be necessary, but you know, maybe that's a little too ambitious. Gonna get early shields out as just once again a slow, measured approach coming through from Regen on the attack.
Yeah, it's once again they're trying to do this split thing, right? Where it's the Sigma on one side and cool ABC. Oh, it goes on the far flank, takes that back line out. Zembrit, no, already gone.
That's that important first pick that we were talking about. Now Magic 8 Ball pushes in, finishes off Hanu, and this is a foregone conclusion, snowballing into a 2-1 lead here for Regen.
Yeah, and so far, I mean, we've had this before, but so far, the team that has picked the map has been winning the map. And, you know, Regen picked map 1, won it. Nocturnal picked map 2, won it. Regen picks map 3 and wins it. If we're going to go through with this, it's very likely that Nocturnal just picks another one of those sort of off-pick maps and just gets to a place where they get to play Assault and just win. Just like Regen is doing here, because this was a very good map for Regen. Yes, they weren't able to full hold or hold at all on the first time, but the second time around, full hold, and then they get their own in the first fight, their own point A. So going into the Assault map that we're now getting, because we're finally there, getting to Assault. I'm thinking the Nocturnal is going to be happy with anything because they get to pick it. And I'm 100% expecting him to go to something like Volskaya, which would play into this more open, chaotic playstyle. But something like Anubis or Hanamura does also really play into their playstyle as well. Like, the meta really is okay with Genji Ashe on most maps right now, mostly on Anubis and Volskaya, but it can also definitely do that on Hamura. It's all really up to a team preference. Which map are they screen more? Which map are they ready for? Right. But if you've got a weird strat prepared, that might be the choice why you go to one of those 3 maps in particular.
What's your favorite of those 3 maps, personally?
If I have to choose, I usually go Volskaya. I think Volskaya is the least 2CP out of the 2CP maps for some reason.
Fair enough. You're not alone in that thought, that's for sure.
No. I also have a soft spot for Anubis at times, but also Hanamura. I think all of these 3 I don't really have a problem with. It was really just, you know, Paris mostly. Paris with Horizon isn't great, but Horizon at least has some nice qualities to it here and there. Like, I don't mind the way you can hold on A. I have a lot of fun on Horizon point A in quick play still, where I'm just on defense. I'm on there on Hog, and I'm just standing in a corner, and they will always push the same way, and there will always be this one person that thinks, I could go on a sneaky flank, and I'm just hook, kill, all game long.
Who is this Roadhog you speak of? I haven't seen this character in a long time.
Yeah, no, honestly, that's exactly what you're saying. Like, it's one of those things where Roadhog hasn't been in the meta for a while, and I'm mostly struggling to see what would bring Roadhog back. I think the one thing they could potentially do is maybe lower the hook cooldown again, just to bring it back to 6 seconds. But it's very nice that it synergizes with the halt right now. But I think if you can just throw out more hooks and don't feel like it has to be combined with a halt or something, maybe it can come back. But it will not be Volskaya, though. That's what we know. It's going to be Anubis next.
Nope. Headed to sunny Egypt here for our 4th map, our Assault map tonight. Of course, Regen on map point. They've got the grand finals in their sights. They just got to close it out here. Nocturnal, they want to send us to that map 5.
I want a map to do it on, right?
And what a map to do it on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I would really like it if we got a draw here, and then they have to do another one, and another one, and another one.
6 maps would not hurt my feelings. The more Overwatch, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly. And maybe we get that illustrious 7th map, but I don't think we can get there anymore, because I think if this is a draw, then it's a 2-1 still. the Nocturnal wins the control map after, because then we get 2 control maps potentially. So we can only get to map 6 mathematically, unfortunately, unless the unbreakable game is finally broken and we get a draw on control somehow.
Both teams just run away.
Look,
no one ever gets point.
Yeah, and then Blizzard just says, no, you're all banned from the game because you had to do an attack at some point. Yeah, they all get removed for inactivity. Does that count as a draw? I think it would. But yeah, going into Anubis next, I think we're all ready to get going into this one. And we're not expecting anything different. The only thing we might see is maybe something with an Echo or Torbjorn, because on a map like Anubis, you get to really set up that defense, and you can set up an off-angle defense as well, where you make the enemy team sort of funnel them in that one route that looks safer, and then you can have that off-angle to really spam down on them a little bit more. Might even see the Junkrat. I would be really excited if one of these teams pulls that out. Junkrat can be relatively easily countered if you know to play it against it, but sometimes you don't counter him in time, and he gets such insane value that you eventually lose out anyways, because it's all about that longevity. How long does your strat work for, and how much time do you need to get that value yourself on the other side when you attack? So it's all going to be about that defensive setup. Who does it better, and do they go for that mirror, yes or no?
Well, and I think Regen has thrived in those longer fights so far here today. When Nocturnal has looked good is when they're putting the pace down and they can finish it quickly and decisively. As soon as these fights start drawing out, Regen is able to find the pick. Somehow, Cool ABC or Chopper are able to get into those flank angles. If they're blocking the Ashe, then the Genji's in the backline taking care of the healers. If they're all focused on trying to handle the Genji, then Cool ABC is clicking heads.
Yeah, Cool ABC has been clicking, has a lot more than I think Zemrit has been at this point.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's like a Zemrit issue or whether they're setting Cool ABC up for a lot of good plays, because I do feel that also happens. A lot of good halts and a lot of good accretions and things like that happening to set up Cool ABC a little bit more. But Zemrit, I mean, we've seen them play a variety of things. Before the match started, Zemrit was like, oh, I love you, Men of Class, which I appreciate, but I really like Zemrit's Torbjorn. They played it last time around. They actually got the hammer kill with it. And, you know, if you can get a hammer kill with Torbjorn, you've already won my heart. I don't know. I just like that. It looks like the teams are going to actually be ready. Of course, because production are also ready to go. So, rearing to get into this map, Anubis going to come out for you. And, we talk a little bit more about what they're actually going to run, right? Because we talked about the possibility of certain DPS being different, but this is the one assault map that even in Overwatch League, a lot of teams still would dive towards. And I would not be remiss to see some dive.
No, and actually, we were talking about the absence of Hog. I think that's the one place where Hog is viable is as a counter dive.
Yeah, potentially.
On a defense, I wouldn't go for it on an offensive pick, obviously. But for a defense,
you have to hit the hooks, right? Yeah,
you have to hit the hooks. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because
that's the one little niche area he's viable.
It's one of those things where if you don't hit the hooks at Roadhog, or if you cannot consistently hit them, and a team will usually be very good at actually hitting them or denying the hits.
Oh yeah.
Roadhog really quickly drops in value, and then it's just going to be a feeder. Like he just
an old
continuously
battery.
An old battery. And you can say the same thing to Wrecking Ball to a degree, but Wrecking Ball will more consistently find that same value and drag attention away. He's more of a distraction that way. So while we wait, we're just going to run some highlights. There's just an AFK player that just apparently thought, let's have another break after another map. But it does seem like they're finally back going into the next one. So we're actually going to get into the map now. Their break time's over, and so is ours. So we'll hopefully maybe actually start up the map. I think we're still running some highlights. Maybe
I am ready.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So while you're watching the highlights, we're gonna load into the map while the highlights finish, so we can actually see these teams set up. And by the time they're finished, I'm hoping we're just gonna get straight into the action, which is what we love to see. It will be Nocturnal starting here on the attack again. Of course, they I know, sorry. Yes, it is. It's Regen starting on the defense, Nocturnal on the offense, and it's of course been Nocturnal's map pick. And Nocturnal's map pick also means that Nocturnal is probably or potentially found a good strat for this, maybe a good attempt. But actually, the one person we forgot to mention in this defensive setup that could be cool. It's going to be cool ABC playing the Mei.
Yeah, living up to that namesake, pulling out the Ice Queen here to start things off. That's got to be anticipating blocking the attack from Mega Room, where you can wall them off as they're trying to come through Mega, do a little divide and conquer. I worry the value they would get, though, especially if Nocturnal comes out on this composition. That Mei might struggle unless the Mei can get in close and start freezing down some of these high mobility targets.
Yeah, Nocturnal on the dive. They chose this map specifically. I was sort of, I wouldn't say worried, but I was thinking that they were going to go with this. They showed it in their last series. I think they went to Volskaya in that case. Also showed up with the dive. Leonathan's going to take that early dynamite. But the main question is where and how and when are they going to dive? They need to cycle these cooldowns, get the ultimates online faster than the defense, and then break through.
Well, it looks like just we're going to have the Mercy and the Genji kind of pushing through left. The dive staging at the base of the center platform. Are they going to try to aggress onto that platform, or are they going to push onto the objective and perhaps claim some of the high ground on the back of the point? So far, looks like Nocturnal just sizing up a Regen here on the point. Okay, here comes the Genji jumping in from the back, but not really committing. But hey, they get the immortality field out. That's a win here for the attackers. Will they take advantage of this opportunity? Now can they find the picks? There goes the Winston onto the center platform, and they can. Onhu with a big dash and a huge ante. That's going to lead into another kill on the ship. 3 kills on the board. No tanks, no supports left for Regen.
It's such a beautiful playbook. You just say, we know that they're probably holding with that Baptiste. All we do, send the Genji in the back line, force the immortality field out, and then we go. They did exactly what I wanted them to do. Force out the cooldowns and cycle your own in a non-lethal way. So don't suicide in jump like dive used to be, where you just go for one target straight away, because you have to think about the immortality field. It's beautifully done, and they're going to be in such the ultimate advantage that Nanoblade could just decimate them if they're once again able to throw out that immortality field.
And here it comes. Nanoblade into the back. The wall not able to split them off. Immortality field gone. And then Anu able to slice and dice through the defense. 2 kills to start things off. Amplification Matrix comes out. CJ's able to pick Anu off. But already 2 ticks picked up. Somebody's got to contest. The Diva finally comes back onto the point for Regen to halt that progress, but now it's just a lone mech standing on the point. Oh, Lava, they're just in time returning on the Reinhardt with a big charge, but self-destruct thrown in from Nocturnal. And a bomb now it's turned to contest. Zimrit finding shots, Skyward finding shots. Will it be enough? The counterpunch coming through. Magic 8-Ball does take down Anu on the Doomfist, but the res available with this composition. They're able to get that player back in the fight. Zimrit. Oh, Zimrit! Zimrit finds both DPS! And this could be just the ticket to find that last tick here for Nocturnal.
They need to clean up quicker. They need to start getting these kills because these players are alive for too long. Yes, the respawns are getting slowed down for the defense here, but they need to be quicker about this because the Mei is back with the Blizzard. Gonna freeze up the monkey.
This is disastrous for Nocturnal. They had thrown the nano boost onto the Winston as well, and he was not quite able to find enough to take this thing home. Who find a pair of kills in the back, but back to spawn he goes. Simply a consolation prize for the one-punch fighter.
Oh, and they did so well on getting in. It looked so good, but they weren't able to keep that one player in spawn. It was just the Diva that came back. And meanwhile, the Primal Rage was going out. The wall was coming out. They did so much to keep them in spawn, but that right door was just open long enough for ship to come back on the Diva. Now we have the double barrier back, the Mei, the Ashe, no ultimates aside from the for that application matrix, but nothing from Nocturnal either. They have to start from scratch here.
Yeah, Nocturnal changing their comp entirely, going to a McCree and a Mei here as they make their second assault into point B. Passing through caves this time around. A defensive Mei wall coming up to try to devalue the amplification matrix a little bit. The only ult that was available in the server. Now this is going to be a pure dry fight. Oh, a wonderful wall. Divides off the Orisa from the rest of the pack. But the immortality field right there. Johnny on the spot from Skyward to keep the main tank alive. And here they come back in for their second push. Gathering their resources and see if they can get this final tick picked up. But so far, Regen not budging an inch.
They want that application matrix. They have it now. They'll have the advantage in that case. And they push on a magic bait ball behind this point, almost frozen. Not quite happening here. And this fight is now truly getting underway.
Oh, the positioning on that Ant Matrix, I don't know if it was good enough for them to find the value. Zimmer does find the kill on the lava. That's an important pick. DG1 comes through, and the Orisa finds a kill as well. Nocturnal starting to turn this thing around. A Desperation Bomb coming in to try to hold down the fort as Ship comes back in with the Gravitic Flux, trying to hold on here for Regen. Flux not finding anything. And now it's Regen on the back foot, desperately trying to survive, throwing down the Matrix and an Immortality Field of their own. CJ able to find the pick. DJ1 strikes back, countering with a Flux of his own, and it's a back and forth on this point. Zimrit on the Cowboy finds 2-3 kills with the Peacekeeper. And Nocturnal in a good position to finally pick up this third point. We'll see how much Regen can stall. Yeah, the ball back there, they're gonna have to take care of the Wrecking Ball. Oh, the Blizzard! Oh, the Blizzard mana class. Is this going to be what shuts him down again?
It is. Looks like. Oh, they're not done yet. The kills still coming.
Yeah, Nocturnal is...
Ship has been an issue, but Ship is now dead. So is the Moira. Overtime spawns are in for the defense. It's just lava. Do they have the just the damage and the control to really stop that ball from doing whatever they want? It's taken up and up and up, and every time there's another member or two. Chopper and a cool ABC on the Tracer Doomfist, but finally it looks like they're going to be able to regain the upper hand. The spawns are truly slowing down for the defense now. It's going to be so much harder for them to keep this going. Ship is back. That's Magic Made Ball. They just keep stalling time under a minute.
What? Oh, Regen just doing such a good job of passing the baton back and forth between the team. Who's going to stall this thing out? A massive slam comes through, but lava does eventually go down. Skyward's going to throw down an Amplification Matrix and his Immortality Field, keeping his team in the fight. And Adu! There we go. Finally, the one to put the nail in the coffin here on Anubis.
They took that from like 3 minutes down all the way to 220, even though they were losing that fight the entire gosh darn time. This is not okay. If you're Regen, you're gonna be licking your lips saying, we pulled a fast one on you, and we did it. We stalled you out for like 2 minutes. That fight was never ending. Like, we switched back and forth like 4 times, which is normally not supposed to happen, Bullskunk.
I mean, Regen were, this close. Just so close to looking down the barrel of a 4.5, 5-minute time bank. They're able to stave off the initial snowball and then that massive stall at the end. Just a beautiful job. Heads up play from Regen on getting their team members in there, tagging in and out just at the right moment.
Yeah, and now we're going to be seeing how Nocturnal chooses to defend this, because it was their map pick. So they might do something different, and they do. You know, it's there. It's the crazy man from down under, the thunder from down under with the nades. It's the junk man. He is there. It's the rodent of the trash. It's definitely coming out there on you. Going to be setting up that trap in the right corridor, obviously wanting to deny entry through there, and it won't be a dive attacking from Regen, so they will be completely susceptible to spam. The only thing stopping it could be a good wall from Cool ABC.
Hey, we were talking prior to this series. You said you're not a crystal ball reader. You're not a prophet. Well, I call horse feathers, man, a clash. You called this one perfectly, my friend.
Oh, yeah, and they see it. They see the Junkrat. They're going back and spawn. What are they going to switch to? Because it seems the cool ABC Magic Mate Ball want to make the swap here. Going to go Echo Zenyatta.
Yeah,
Magic Mate Ball even giving a cheeky
smile in chat.
They've been in the chat a few times already. He's calling out live commentary constantly. And he's just saying, like, they do the you know, the Omega Lol face almost. It's not the Omega Lol. I don't remember what meme it is. There is a meme, but it's
right. I know the one you're talking about.
Put my finger on it. You know the one.
Oh, but Shield's already just destroyed for Nocturnal. A lot of pressure coming through, and Chopper finds a really important kill. Taking down Skyward. No more Immortality Field available, and that is going to be Regen's cue to push in. Skyward making the switch back to Lucio just to get back into this fight. All the while, we've got cool ABC pushing up to the high ground, circling around on that Echo. Oh, and if the Echo can get behind, it's going to be disastrous. You can see the desperation in Nocturnal as they fall inside the small room, and I think it's just going to spell doom for this defense.
Cool ABC's Echo was instrumental in all of that, but there was a beautiful play that happened. We saw Anu going up to the high ground, trying to contest that Echo, and Lava just pulls them back straight into the sticky bombs and the focus beam from the Echo. It's not over just yet, though. Anu is back on point, just fighting Lava 1v1 right now. We'll obviously lose that, but about, you know, was it 5 minutes left? They'll be able to go to point B and start getting that one. And the ultimates aren't even in their favor, necessarily. There's a big Riptire that can completely decimate any attempt at an attack. And even though we've got 5 minutes, you still need to get in there. The momentum you get from that first fight is usually your best momentum for a while.
Yeah, both the Orisa and on who's Junkrat doing a great job. Even though they eventually lost the fight, they were able to get those all-important ultimates. Chopper does have the big Omnic Butler online ready to go. Cool ABC approaching the duplicate. Here comes the tire to start things off, trying to end this fight before it even begins. Finds Cool ABC. Not able to build up any more towards that duplicate ult. Bob thrown in from Chopper, but all the while, Regen's going to have to back out.
Yeah, as these heads-up micro-plays, Lilithan just walks forward through main with their Fortify, stops the Bob from going any further. They can all hide behind the walls and keep spamming at it without being really damaged by the Bob. And meanwhile, Cool ABC goes around the right side, and it's just a heads-up tire. You can throw the tire out there, you see Cool ABC, like, you know what, let's just get the Echo. That'll probably be enough to stop this push. Investing an ultimate, losing the player. And now they're Gravitic Flux early as well. No Baptiste to stop that.
No, but Transcendence is available. Magic 8 Ball right there with it. Supercharger thrown out. Now the Amplification Matrix. Duplicate used as well. Duplicate's going to bring the Sigma. Ship using a Flux. Here comes the second Flux. We forgot about second Flux, man. A classic. Cool ABC comes through with a double smash. Magic 8 Ball getting into the mix. And this is looking to be a wicked fast time here for Regen. One tick ticked up already.
I can already see the clip coming out from the Lord of the Rings clip, but he knows about second breakfast, right? But then, but they're gonna keep stalling here. We're gonna see the same thing coming out that we see from Regen.
We'll see if Regen can do a better job of eliminating the stall characters and Nocturnal were able to do on their first assault. To use, try to take care of that hamster. Lucio riding on the walls. Regen's got to find these kills, otherwise Zimmer and Anhu are going to do it for him. They're going to put the hurt back down on the other side, and 89% is all Regen's going to find on this attack.
And look, it's just a repeat of what we saw just now, where Nocturnal was like, yeah, you won that fight convincingly, but you weren't on point capping it yet. So we have plenty of time to come back in and just start doing the same thing you did, stall it out, and win the fight as a result. They'll be close to another Flux and Blade as well on their defense. There'll be only a Bob and a Application Matrix on the other side. Maybe Ship can build up that Flux as well. The Cool ABC is swapped over to the Mei now, so that could be a good tool. They need to get into position to use those walls first.
Oh, I have concern that they're not going to fight the damage with that swap. You're putting a lot of pressure on Ship. It's going to be up to him and Chopper and Cool. No, it's Chopper to find the kills here. Speaking of, there's the ult with the Amplification Matrix. Here comes the Gravitic Flux from PG1. The Blade used in there as well. Anu chopping through the tank line and leaving Regen in tatters here as they try to make their approach.
Yeah, 2 ults used, fight 1, and the other side didn't even build up a new one. They will only get a Gravitic Flux for the next one. But it does look like the defensive bank is completely empty now. Anu switching back over to the Junkrat, keeps them on their toes, keeps swapping heroes off, and I like it. Able to get that aggressive play up, throwing out the nades. I mean, it's been so long since you've seen players like Jake play this Junkrat on this defense. Now we get to see Anu do it. It's been phenomenal this series so far.
Oh, and you can't underestimate just throwing a different look at the opposition, not giving them the same old expected composition to go up against. We're going to get Lava getting very aggressive across this bridge, running into 3 members of the defense. Nearly single-handedly. Now Ship gonna help out, throw down the Gravitic Flux. Zimrit really low. So here comes the rally and the Matrix from the other side. Zimrit still not getting any benefit on that. Is Zimrit ever gonna get healed here? Supercharger used as Anu has made the swap over to the Doomfist once again. The one-punch hero making the difference here for Nocturnal.
The 20 HP Zemrit double kill. That's a legend. That's gonna be so. The birds are gonna be singing songs about that one. But Regen is realistically gonna get one more good attack Maybe if it's a fast one, they get another one, but it looks like these are all the ultimates they're going to have to work with. It's going to be the Bob, the Blizzard that has been instrumental, Magic 8-Ball with that rally, and probably a Supercharger from Lava if it goes a bit long. And all they have to work on the defense, realistically, is going to be the Bob and the Gravitic Flux. They use it early. They go in deep.
They're trying to get aggressive. They're trying to end this fight now. But the follow-up, not quite there. They do get CJ's Immortality Field out. Oh, cool ABC drops! Cool ABC drops holding Blizzard. That's disastrous. That was the win condition that Regen needed. Now this is going to be a monumental task. It's going to take an incredible individual performance from Chopper or Ship to push this thing home. Chopper does pick off Anu, but Anu's going to get right back into this fight. And CJ goes down. Lava goes down. Nocturnal had this thing wrapped around their little finger. They just got to clean up the last few remaining members.
They'll be able to do so. Overtime ticks down. No one touches. And Nocturnal gets the 2-2. The theory keeps on. Whoever wins them, whoever gets to pick the map, wins the map. So map 5 in the cards. It will be Control. And it's going to be up to Regen which Control map do we go to, which is probably going to look good for them, because Nocturnal, last time around, unfortunately, kind of got nothing done on Control. So Regen being able to decide this series potentially with their Control map is looking all good for them. They're not worried. They know exactly what they're going to do. They're just going to spawn cap Nocturnal for 2 rounds on Control and take the series home. Looks like it's going to be Li Zhang who will bring that right to you after a break.
And we are back, my friends, here in the winners bracket final, the Solstice Cup. Regen, 2 points. Nocturnal, 2 points. We're headed to Li Zhang Tower to decide who moves on to the grand finals.
Yeah, grand finals not far away for both of these teams, but Nocturnal has a redemption to make. They don't get to pick the map, which so far has been the advantageous position. If you pick the map, you win the map. And Regen completely destroyed them on the first Control map. Yeah, we both do it. The two. It's just there's two very big obstacles in the way of Nocturnal. They have to overturn two very strong positions that Regen has put themselves in order to win this series and go to the grand finals. Oh, and there's a third one. They're also lower seed. So, first seed against third seed. Yeah, there's more trifecta. I really like trifectas there. So
you do
going
like
to Legion
threes.
Tower.
Yes,
I
sir.
like threes. We talked about it like a few hours ago. I just did that one. We are going to Legion Control Center here. This is, if anything, a map that could play into the favor of Nocturnal because they can potentially play the main, the Junkrat again. And Anu has been incredibly flexible in heroes like that. And I think we might be able to even see a Symmetra Junkrat, which is insane because it's just double spam and a lot of damage. I do think it will just be to get out of spawn quickly. But you know what I see? I see a potential for Junkrat versus Junkrat.
And the big difference I'm noticing here between the two, not just the Symmetra May that you were touching on, but also the Orisa for Nocturnal. And we've got Regen pulling out the Sigma. So this is going to be a good one in this first fight. Oh, so important on Control Center.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who usually wins that matchup, but I don't think it's a consistent result. Oh, Zemrit late on the McCree will be very late, actually, when this fight's already started.
Yeah, he's going to make it back into the battle. He's using that teleporter to get Nocturnal onto this point, see if they can get that positional advantage, force Regen to come steal it back. But so far, teams just circling each other here, sizing each other up.
The Maywell's not doing much there.
Yeah, cool ABC trying to circle around to the back with a little flank May and his Chopper. Finding the Reinhardt, what an important pick. And now Regen putting the pressure onto PG1. I don't think this Orisa's going to be able to survive. Somehow still on their feet. Skyward doing so much work. Oh my goodness, what a performance from the healers to keep Nocturnal in this battle. Neither team able to find the point just yet. And here comes a tire. Anu throwing the Reptire onto the point. Takes down Lava PG1 behind ship. And Nocturnal counter-punching back with a vengeance here on Control Center.
Oh, that tire timing was so good. You heard Reinhardt start his voice line, barrier destroyed, and then the tire goes off just as that barrier breaks. I don't know if that was planned, but that was beautiful. And now, yes, you'll see the tire of Chopper being, of course, much higher in ult charge, but Zemrit's got the high noon, the Skyward's got the amplification matrix, Nox has got the barrier advantage, so that Blizzard and that tire and potentially the Flux have to come up huge here for the side of Regen.
Well, Blizzard thrown it out first, but the High Noon from the other side. Well, the High Noon zone off the point enough to deny follow-up. Really? Nobody caught in the Blizzard, and now we're going to have the Sound Barrier thrown out, Amplification Matrix thrown out. That's going to force out the Immortality Field on the other side, but here comes Ship trying to strike back. Already down a man, seeing if they can use the Flux to get back in the fight. Immortality Field to use, and now the Sound Barrier from Regen. The later Sound Barrier, typically the better Sound Barrier. Chopper getting the better end of the duel with Anu. And Leonathan goes down. Zemrit answers back, and it's a 4v4 on the objective, but Nox caught in a horrible position in the Orisa. Not long for this world either.
Cool ABC's Doomfist doing work there, coming back after not getting any value out of that May. And it was very nice. Zemrit completely zones out what Regen wants to do with that High Noon, denying the Blizzard follow-up. And then because if you are hiding in the stairs, it's only Lava and Cool ABC on the point. Cool ABC gets picked off, but unfortunately, the longer fight still goes into Regen's favor.
Zemrit coming off the edge, off the McCree, going on to the Edgelord Reaper. Bringing the double shotguns into the mix. A big charge, dangerous move there for Leoton. Able to survive. Once again, Skyward just putting in so much work. Already another Ant Matrix online. We're going to have the Earthshatter in the back, finds one, but the tire on the other side takes off Lucio. Both teams missing a support. Cool ABC, able to find the kill on the Reaper, and Chopper taking down the Reinhardt. This is just going to be DG1 trying to stall for as long as possible. He's dying on point.
So both teams have tried to introduce a DPS element that goes into an off angle or goes into a flank of some kind. Zemrit now goes over to the Torbjorn to maybe do that more consistently. But it's been Cool ABC that's been able to get into the back line of Nocturnal, whereas Zemrit has been trying to do that first with the Reaper and now with the Torbjorn. That off angle damage is all what these metas are about.
Yeah, Zemrit's Torb could do good work to hold Cool ABC at bay. Cool ABC gonna go and put the big punch down. The turret is taken care of. Nice coordination. Nevertheless, Cool ABC not quite finding the pick he was looking for. Amplification Matrix used, but here comes the tire from Regen. That's going to prompt the sound barrier from Nocturnal, continuing to put the aggression on. Shift trying to shut down said aggression, throwing a gravitic flux down, but they're still running into that turret, running into so much damage. All the while, though, despite the fact that Nocturnal seems to have the positional advantage, Regen has built up to 99% on this point. Nocturnal will eventually get that flip, though.
One advantage there in the end, though, is Magic 8 Ball can't do is impossible forever stall because that turret eventually just auto aim them down. Ooh, early kill on you means that they have to back off again and can't hold aggressively as they might want to. And there's will that the meteor strike find value? That's a big question for this fight.
I think a Sabir could be a big difference maker as well. There goes Cool to be seen in the back. Here comes the Meteor Strike. They got to get rid of that Immortality field. No, they failed to do so. It's able to keep it alive, but Lava with a nice follow-up. Leah answers right back. The Amplification Matrix up. It's going to force Nocturnal out of the way, and Regen pick up the point. Nay for free. Nocturnal realizes that they got to put the pressure on. They've got to win this fight now, and they're trying to force down Lava. They'll get that kill onto Lava. Shit, the lone tank left on this point, trying to hold on here for Regen. I think a reset is in order here for Regen.
Yeah, they didn't even need to use that tire. That was kind of an over-investment because they had that point locked down. Ship was incredibly low. Everyone else was forced off. I got to question that one because then I've got nothing in the bank but a shatter. It has to come up huge. Massive shatter is necessary for Lenathan to win this at this point.
It's going to be so difficult through the double shield. Chopper with a tire of his own to start the fight. This opening hit could be the difference maker on our first point. It finds Lenathan! Oh, man. That shatter looked like he even tried to throw the shatter. I didn't hear it come out. I think he had hit the button right as the tire laid contact, laid him to waste. Ship's gravitic flux land. PG1 to waste as well. And Regen storming over here. They're going to clean up this point after a little bit of taking care of these stall characters. Regen should take our opening round, though. With what we've seen, the stalls today have been so good. You can't count Nocturnal out just yet.
Exactly. Both teams have been amazing at stalling. Lenathan able to go over the wall twice in that circle. Gets PG1 on the ground now, does Lava. Then Reinhardt not getting that much swapped over, but there will still be potential for Nocturnal stall out. Sound Barrier is out from the defensive Regen right now, but Nox is getting close to theirs. They can keep coming back. The kills are not being gotten. They pushed him off the point. They scored Nocturnal. What a hero play from Lenathan, able to stay alive forever on that point on the Wrecking Ball, and then just force them off together with the Lucio. What a CC play there. No, right?
Oh, man. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Anhu, tip of the hat to Anhu on the Doomfist as well.
Yeah.
Showing up, never went down. I think he was the second one to come stall on the objective. It was never taken out of the fight. All the while finding value, finding picks. And now, Nocturnal overcoming odds, heading into Gardens with a 1-0 lead on Lijiang.
Yeah, and now you see Nocturnal coming in with the chats. Like, Charlie, come in. Charlie, this is 9 over. It was beautiful. Magic 8 Ball been trash talking all game or been a bit annoying in chat all game, and now they're getting it back. This fight starts out with a beautiful divey dive, though.
Oh, this is gorgeous. You'll love to see it. Lava fight his first kill, and an important kill at that. Chopper, a fight of the kill onto Anhu as well. Mini duels going on. Regen trying to focus down the Winston. He's forced to jump out of the fight, and Regen will start us off with first control.
Yeah, Regen will start us off with first control because, of course, they have a lot to prove now. They were kind of stolen away from that win there. The stall was beautiful, and now they really, really feel like they need to come back into this. They're going to swap over to double barrier, does Nocturnal, going over to that Torbjorn May, and that could be very hard to fight into if you're dive. It's going to be all about, once again, forcing out those cooldowns, cycling your own to get the ultimates, and then winning the fight. Chopper already and CJ close to those ultimates, so this fight should not necessarily be a problem, but they still have to be careful.
I worry for the one after that. Sure, you might be able to win this one with Blade, and that's if Chopper can pull off a fantastic Blade into all this CC and a turret. We'll see after that. Coalescence used from CJ to start off the fight. Nocturnal trying to push through the small corridor, just makes for easy burning down. Then Coalescence going to hold them at bay. PG1 finds Magic 8 Ball, and that's the opening they were looking for. Nox is going to use that rally and try to push in, but Lava coming in with the Primal Rage, Chopper throwing in the blade, and between that, the Ultimates will win them this fight. But will they have what it takes to push it out in the end?
Yeah, they backed off a little bit because of that rally, but then saw their chance to go back in. Zemrit was holding Cool ABC at bay for quite a while, but those Primal Rage Blade plays are just not able to be staved off without the Immortality Field. Cool ABC goes down early, though. They got their number. Cool ABC will not be in this fight, at least for a while, and now the Ultimates are going to be getting ready here for Nocturnal.
I mean, there's no easy dive targets for Nocturnal either. Without the Ultimates, I'm not sure Nocturnal, I think Regen will struggle for the picks, and Nocturnal's immediately pushing onto the point. They're finding point presence. They take Lava down early. On who finds Cool ABC, and exactly as I anticipated, Nocturnal able to just cleanly sweep over this objective.
They might be able to get stalled a little bit more with Chopper behind the point, just dive in. And they might be able to get some stall going with the Winston as well. This stall could be monumental. We saw how Regen was able to do that on Anubis. Now they get Magic 8 Ball in the Lucio. No. They think we got 99. It's fine. That's all we're really looking for. Otherwise, it's just feeding. And now 6 ultimates on the board for Nocturnal almost. But 5 coming up here for Regen. Nocturnal needs to cycle these ults out carefully, but they also need to not get overwhelmed by ultimates and just not use theirs and lose the fight. So that is the job of Regen. Force out too many ultimates, maybe lose the fight. Make sure you don't use as much as Nocturnal does.
Yeah, I mean, Nocturnal can go 1 for 1 and still have the advantage, but Nocturnal has to be perfect from here on out if they want to move on to the grand finals. We're going to get the self-destruct in the back, but in response, Nocturnal throwing in their Gravitic Flux. The Molten Core comes out over the point.
No.
And that's a quick fight win, and Regen spins everything just as you were warning them. Man, a class, they do exactly what you told them not to do.
But it's also really the control from Nocturnal only using 2 ultimates. But Ship made the most hilarious play there ever. Throws out the self-destruct, then thinks like, okay, I gotta hide somewhere to get my mech back. Hides behind a pillar on the point where just Zemrit and Nox are waiting for them. They were hiding from the self-destruct and just completely deny the remech. That's, you look back and you're like, that's the moment where you realize you messed up.
Oh man, now Ant Matrix out as Regen trying to push the small corridor. Regen tanks have swap cool. We see, in fact, a lot of swaps coming through. Magic 8 Ball, the only one with the character. Chopper as well on the Genji does have that blade available, but Regen running into this blizzard, and it's just cold as ice here in Lijiang Tower. Regen, nothing but a bunch of popsicles right now.
And where Regen was completely dominating on the first control map of Busan, it seems to go completely the opposite way for them now on this point. I mean, sure, 299 to 99. The Magic 8 Ball, will they make it? They do touch in time, but barely. Oh, yeah, they do. Okay, that was so close to not touching.
Oh. Regen has to stay in this fight. Those blades has got to be huge if they want to take us to the round 3. No, the turret takes Chopper down.
Regen.
Disaster strikes for Regen. There's the hammer kill. The nail in the coffin of Regen is a hammer from Zemrit into the Moira. And overtime Wick continuing to stall. We've seen a great stall, but there's no way Regen has it in their bank to get these kills. This is gonna take a Herculean effort from Chopper. Not there.
Yeah.
No miracle.
I don't think. I don't think Herculean is even the word anymore at that point. I think at that point you're really talking just about, I don't know, like Herculean plus 5. I don't need it. Plus infinity. It was just we call that mathematically challenging, I think.
My heart breaks for Regen at the. Oh my goodness. Chopper here with the play, but in the end, it was not enough.
It really wasn't. And that's such a shame, right? And I think Regen, I don't know if they were mentally boomed after that last fight they had on Control Center, but if they were not mentally boomed after, I'd be very concerned for their health well-being. I don't even know what type of people they are. That's like a super brain you have at that point to not be affected by that. So,
Nocturnal.
A Nocturnal just...
They overcame all 3 of your odds, man, of class.
Everything, right? Lower seed, stomps on Busan, and you don't get to pick the map. Now, if that's not the trifecta that you have to overcome, honestly, that's amazing. I would love to have an interview with one of the Nocturnal players because I want to know what happened after that point, after that first point when they stalled. I really do want to. I don't even care who we get to interview. It would.
I
I
would
think
love to get
any
some
of them is
insight.
going to have something fun to say.
Yeah, I'd love to
Yeah,
get some
anyone's going
insight,
to have to come good
uh,
to say.
especially on map 5.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. That was a heck of a turnaround. Nocturnal moving on to the grand finals, taking down the #1 seed to stamp their ticket, and now guaranteed at minimum 2nd place here in this tournament and a shot at that prize pool.
Yeah, and I mean, they're obviously they're discussing like, oh, he's going to join for the interview. I just want them all in here. Just get the 6
Just get
stack,
the
you know.
whole team.
Everybody talk. I know we're probably a bit too chaotic, but we'll
I'll say,
get
the most chaotic
someone
interview
going.
ever.
Yeah. And there's been a few players that we haven't really mentioned that much. We've mentioned Lenathan, PG1, Zamrate, Anyu. They've all been doing a great job. But Nox and Skyward in the
Yeah.
back line, they've
Yes,
been popping
sir.
as well. And we don't often give supports a lot of love. And I don't think we really had to in this series a lot because there weren't that many times where the immortality fields really mattered, for instance, when we look at the Baptiste. But
Right. It was
sometimes they played
solid.
dive, sometimes it was just solid from both sides. They really did a good job, and sometimes they forced it out, and it wasn't really a bad play from Baptiste. It was like you have to sometimes, otherwise you just you lose. I mean, looking back at the maps, I mean, for me, the most amazing thing about this entire series was that we got to see Eichenwald. I think it's just one of those things that we see control a lot as casters, even Blizzard
Yeah.
World nowadays, but Eichenwald is becoming quite rare in the whole thing. So it's great to see that. Looks like the interviewee has been set though. It's PG1. Welcome to the chat. Congratulations on that epic win.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we finally did it. We finally beat Regen.
You did it. Yeah. I mean, you say we finally beat Regen. Like, how many times do you think you've played them at this point?
I think we played them 3 times, and we lost the 5th map. I want to say 3 times at this point in a best of 5 scenario, over and over again.
Wow.
Well, going
and to bring it
into
back
map
in that
5.
fashion. Ooh.
Yeah. Going into map 5, it was their map pick, and you kind of got rolled on the opening control map of Busan, with all due respect. What was your headspace like going into Lijiang? How were y'all able to bring this back?
We kind of just fell apart because we knew our good, so it wasn't like that big of a deal after we like got absolutely rolled on Busan. But as soon as we realized that it was someone close on Route 66, the series felt really winnable. So I think once the Busan map was over, it was kind of just like uphill from there, and they made a hiccup on Eichenwald.
Yeah, and honestly, the way you brought that back, right? Like, especially that control center, like how that stall even came to be, and then how you pull that back with like a C9 play like that, where you force them off the objective. It's just, how does that even come to part? I barely saw how that happened.
I think the reason it happened is because Nathan went onto Ball, our main tank player, and it just so happened that they swapped to stall as well. But stall characters have a really hard time actually stopping the ball from spinning around. So Nate just sort of spun around until we literally all came back at 6, and we happened to get coalescence because Nate took so much damage. And then we turned the fight, and then they all chased Nate because I'm assuming someone screamed, "Kill the ball," and then they all just ran off the point, and Nate clutched up really hard.
I guess what we saw happen is they did have the Mei there. So the Mei throws up that wall, and Lenathan just keeps like twice over, just makes the rotation and goes over the wall in full speed, which is very hard to do as Wrecking Ball. So nice mechanics on that one. Maybe they were helped out a little bit by something. I don't really know. But and then like you said, you just come back into it. Somehow they chase the ball down, you boop one extra away, and it's done. And do you feel like they were sort of mentally broken on that second point because of that?
Actually, no. I think the part that they finally lost that is when, or I knew I had a really good feeling the series was over, is when they swapped off of their dive to come back on like some weird brawl hybrid scenario thing. Yeah. And they had such a big ult disadvantage, and it was kind of doomed after that. Whoever like made that call kind of lost in the fight or the map because of that. I think they were in it until the very end, until they made that swap.
Were y'all anticipating the dive there?
Yeah, we talked about it, and we said that we want to take the dive straight up, even though we were not that great on that point on dive. We had a feeling that we'd still be able to beat them because we improved on it. But the moment we lost, the whole team realized that we can't take the dive straight up, so we just swapped to the composition with Torb and Brig and just ran White Room. And we knew we'd lose the second fight, obviously, because they had a bunch of ults. But after that, we thought we might be able to win.
Yeah.
That was something. I think it was a really smart play. Something we had pointed out on cast. I mean, yeah, they had the blade, they had the ults to win that fight, but after that, y'all had no easy dive targets at all. That was a
Yep.
beautiful composition. Oh, amazing stuff! Amazing stuff. So going into control center, that was. What were your thoughts going to there, bringing out the Junkrat? I love the Junkrat pick. That was huge.
Oh, the control center.
Yeah.
We practiced it before. The idea is that we just want to try to spam them out, but I think they have definitely played a lot better than us, but they failed the clutch fights. Like, they weren't as good in like the last minute scenarios. So I think that's why we won that map, even though I feel like they played the composition better overall on that point.
Okay.
Huge.
That makes sense. A little bit of a more fun question, I guess. Every now and then you put Zemrit on the Torbjorn. We know he's an amazing hit scan. How happy is Zemrit about being able to play Torbjorn at times?
No one ever told him to go Torb. He just sort of said, I'm going Torb. And then we just sort of said, okay. It really wasn't much of like a team comp decision. It was just sort of
Fair
like,
enough.
he's going Torb. He didn't feel like he was doing anything on Kree. So he just ran it on
Fair
Torb.
enough.
It worked
Yeah,
out
I mean,
very
it did
well.
work. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta listen to that Zemrit, and apparently you guys have built up the trust. That you say if he says I'm going Torb, you just like, yeah, sure, you're not
Yeah,
gonna
he
even
sort of
fight him
did
on
it.
it.
And we just
Yeah.
sort of said, okay, it is what it is.
As we call that the Defran mentality. Apparently, that was exactly how it went when they played their first Overwatch League match. And he said, "No, I'm just going Torb," and it was like, "Wait, what? Wait, what's happening?"
worked,
Okay,
yeah.
sure, and it worked. Yeah. So yeah, keep that going. Of course, you guys are in the grand finals now, already guaranteed getting some money in there. Are you expecting to see Regen again there, or
Yeah,
can they potentially get knocked back out?
I'd be very shocked if they lost. It's
Okay.
going to be another. This may as well was. It's going to be like a first to 6 now. I think it's going to be in the finals in total maps. We have to
I don't
win.
even know.
I'm almost positive we're going to have to run some again. But
Yeah.
another. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably take another 5 games if I had to guess. And it's going to come down against like clutch plays on cough maps again. If I had to guess how the series is going to go already, I can already tell because it's happened every single time we played them.
Yeah, luckily we do rotate back off cough maps after like the first 2 when you get like the 5th and the 6th map. But you still have to get there, right? With the draws and everything. But yeah, I mean there's so much stuff going on with you guys right now. Because obviously Open Division's coming back up. You guys are in general just probably prepping for that. Do you have any other tournaments you're playing in currently?
We are in the Elo Howl and Nocturnal sort of league. I forget the exact name for it, and as well as
Prospect Cup, right? I think.
Yeah, the Prospect Cup.
Is it the same thing? Yeah.
I'm not sure. I will be honest. I really don't know how it works. I just sort of show up and play.
Yeah. I feel like it's the same. Yeah, I was gonna say if there's also a league that I don't really not really sure what's going on here, but yeah, we've casted that tournament as well. So like we know that exists. The league would have been something new to us. But yeah, so far I feel like if you can keep this performance up, you're of course looking very good to get into the next trial season during that Open Division. How are you liking the new Path to Pro format that's been coming up?
From what I heard, it sounds pretty interesting, but I'm not like 100% sure or convinced that's a good way to do it. But I guess only time will tell. It doesn't matter what I think. It is what it is.
Fair enough. Maybe someday we'll have Jeff coming up to you and saying, "Hey, PG, got to ask you some questions about this Path to Pro because you got to fix it now. And you're the one to do it. So be ready. Keep thinking about it. At some point, your opinions will be taken seriously.
Hopefully.
Are there any heroes that you would really secretly love to play, but that you don't get to play because you're either an off tank main or just from some other reason?
I enjoy playing ball from time to time, but that's about it. I mean, Sigma's really good. It's just a good time. You never feel like you cheated whenever you when you play D.Va or like other heroes, or a hero like D.Va, for example. Sometimes you just die randomly and you don't know why. I feel like with Sigma, you always almost know why. Like, it was almost always your fault if something goes wrong.
Feels more controlled in that way, right?
Yeah.
He's such a fun character to play, right? You get all that utility. You did a great job with him today, no doubt. Tip of the hat to you, sir.
Thank you. I was worried for a bit there on the first map, like I said, but after that, I felt really good. I felt like everyone came together and we played really well as a team, collectively, and that's why we pulled out the win.
Absolutely. Like it. Yeah, that first map did feel like a little bit of okay, this has happened. Let's just forget and let's just keep going. And you did keep going, and you did just win afterwards. So 100%. Like you said, just accept that Control isn't their best map and then just pull it out on the 5th map anyways. Yeah, are there any shout outs you want to do to anybody?
I actually do.
Anything you wanna plug?
One of our teammates, Skyward, who came in. Yeah, he joined. We're trialing him right now, but we've only played, I want to say, like 3 or 4 hours with him before, and he just sort of showed up today.
Wow. Okay.
And didn't have to worry about, typically when you have like a new person in, there's kind of like a lot of alignment, and you have to like synergize. But he just sort of slotted right in perfectly, and he didn't have to worry about anything. I feel like he played really well today, so I was really impressed.
Cool. Well, definitely
were
someone
as
to
well.
watch out for further. Yeah. We talked about it after the match a little bit before you came in the interview. We said, yeah, we haven't actually talked about the supports as much as we maybe should have. But yeah, both supports of both teams did really well. So it's really hard to really remember any play that Skyward really made. But I definitely urge people to go back over the VOD, see what Skyward was doing, see what Nox were doing.
Control center. When PG1 no, it was the Reinhardt. Honestly, I'm spacing where
came back in.
Yeah. I think it was Nathan on the Reinhardt, but I thought for sure they were dead, and Skyward was just doing such an amazing job of keeping that Reinhardt alive. That was awesome right there on that 5th map.
Yeah. 100%. So with that, we're going to let you go. Thank you so much for coming in with the interview. Of course, good luck in the grand finals. And again, congrats on the win. I heard there was a sprint block going on, so you might have to actually get to that now. But it seems like the rest of the team is still in lobby, so you're probably not in that big of a hurry. Have a good one at least, and thanks again.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
No problem, man. So many nice people. I feel like every interview we've had, we just had like lovely people that answer questions honestly in a lovely manner. No one unPGing out. Of course, PG1 in the name. You feel like they will probably be very good in the parental guidance there.
Fair enough.
But
fair enough.
Yeah, like it's just been fun, and I like getting back to the player interviews. Of course, we hear all of that where people say, "Start building the storyline, start telling us about these people," and now we just get to have them tell about themselves, which is even better, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Always good. Always good hearing a little insight on the teams.
Yeah.
I mean, we can speculate all we want, but what's really going on in comms, what's really going on inside their heads, I mean, you got to get right to the source.
Never really know, will we?
Right.
We'll never, I mean, unless we record their comms and listen back, but even then, they'll probably yell some weird terms like green 5, hut! Oh, no, and then we just won't know what's happening. It's probably a specific play that they make. Yeah, I hope to hear that one day, but for now, it's just a lot of screaming. No, because that's Winston's green started doing it. Everyone's doing it. It's great.
Is that what your in-game comms sound like, man?
I mean, every single time I listen to pro comms, like either from Overs League or anything, it's just a lot of people just one syllable calling targets, which is just great to see. But yeah, I would love to get more comms going from teams. So if we can get that going, teams, send us your VODs with the comms. We want to see it. We can go over it on stream, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, that was our broadcast for the day, Bull Skunk. I had a blast with you today.
I had an absolute blast as well, man. A class. What a fantastic match. It certainly did not disappoint.
It did not. And with that, we'll bid you all good night. Of course, we'll be back with, I think, 2 more nights after this as well with the Solstice Showdown. Will be, of course, the lower bracket final as well as that grand final. I think we actually have 3 more days to go. So tomorrow we have the lower bracket, like a semifinals, then the lower bracket finals. So the winner of the match tomorrow will go up against Regen, and then that'll be the 3rd place match. And then Regen will have to be that team to get back up to Nocturnal, which at least PG1 is thinking is going to happen. And then we'll get a grand final coming up afterwards. Of course, it will be beautiful. That will be on Friday. Tomorrow and Thursday, there will be matches as well, of course, to get up to that grand final. And then afterwards, it'll be over. And it's been quite a bit of a cup. I think we went through the entire month of June almost. And now we're in July. So it's been a while since we started. And we've seen some great Overwatch, some great teams, and a lot of good talent coming up to Tier 3.
Absolutely. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Y'all be sure and tune in, see if Nocturnal can complete their run, take 1st place, maybe even beat the #1 seed Regen yet again to see if they can get that championship here in the Solstice. So it's just Showdown. Excuse me.
Showdown. Yep.
Thank you, producers.
They took that title before Overwatch League did. They were there first. No, it's
fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah,
it's all good.
I was trying for second guessing myself. That's what I get for second guessing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
it's okay.
thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. It's been an absolute blast. We will see y'all next time. Y'all remember to look out for each other in game and out. Have a wonderful evening.